Well, hello again. I'm Bob Weir with another interview of notable people in North Texas. My guest today is Stephen Hood, President and CEO of Christian Community Action. Thank you for being here, Steve.
Thank you, Bob. Great to be here.
If you would please begin by giving our viewers some background information such as education, occupation, etc.
Sure. I've recently joined CCA as the President and CEO in June. And for really about the last 25 years of my life, I've been dedicated in working in faith-based nonprofit organizations. And so I've spent approximately 20 years with the Salvation Army, several years working with Community Bible Study International, traveling the world, and then focusing most recently with a group in Collin County, working exclusively with older adults.
All right, so for those who may not know, what are the goals of CCA?
The CCA is all about providing hope. And as I've shared with folks, the name of CCA is Christian Community Action. And I think that clearly defines who, what we do, and how we do it. And it's about providing hope through tangible, practical steps of helping transition people from a life of instability to stability, and giving them a vision and purpose.
When was CCA founded?
The CCA is celebrating its 45th anniversary this year, and it started as a small group Bible study. In fact, I had the privilege, a lady stopped in the other day and to find out she was one of the founders. And it was started by a small group of folks as a Bible study, and got together, and something had happened in the community, and they thought, let's do something about this. And they looked at it and said, this is going to be one of our projects of love. And this project of love started, and then it was another project, and then another project, and before you knew it, CCA took its roots under the leadership of Tom Duffy.
And about how many employees does CCA have?
Well, currently, CCA has about 25 staff members working with in program services, and of course our administrative team.
What about the amount of stores? You have some stores, right?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Bob. At the end of last year, CCA made the decision to transfer ownership of its thrift store operations. And so we have a new model, and we have a business partner, Recycle to Support. And so we've transferred ownership of the stores and the donation centers to Recycle to Support. And what happens is you can continue to support the stores and CCA by donating the goods, and we actually receive a percentage from the proceeds from those thrift store operations. And so it still benefits CCA, but this allows us to focus the heart of the mission and ministry of CCA in helping people serve, and allowing the thrift store operations and that organization to focus on what it does best. And that way we have a great relationship in serving one another.
How do people donate to CCA?
That has not changed. We still have a donation center in Flower Mound, or at 200 Mill Street. People can come and drop goods off there.
How about the type of items that are acceptable to donate?
Clothing is, I think, the number one thing that people look for, and we know that it goes to good use. Furniture and appliances and household items. I think that we look to make sure that it's still in good shape. We want it to benefit the community, and not to just something that is falling apart or not being able to be used.
Yeah, so people should try to donate something in pretty good condition.
Absolutely.
The Louisville CCA, located at 200 South Mill Street, what are the hours of operation?
We're open from 9 to 5, and we have our social workers there to be able to work with folks to address their needs or concerns, if it's help with utility payments or rental assistance or our job readiness program.
And where does the majority of funding come from?
We do receive the majority of our support through donations and contributions from the individuals and other public funding that we receive, grants and federal funding for assisting folks.
All right, in addition to many other services you provide, excuse me, you have what's known as the Food Pantry.
Yes.
What types of items does the pantry supply? For example, you have fresh produce, canned goods, and all kinds of box goods, like a small supermarket.
It is just that. It's a small supermarket. And in fact, the way that it was designed years ago was to be a client choice pantry. And so that way, people who need assistance and need food can come in and they can select what is appropriate for their family. We find that many folks may live at a temporary lodging facility, and they don't have a stove, they don't have a kitchen that's accessible. So to receive a bag of groceries that may have flour or something they can't cook. And so this gives folks the opportunity to select what they need for their dietary needs and concerns, what's best for their family. I know with my kids, if I tried to serve them green beans, they probably wouldn't touch them. And so parents know what their families will eat. But it is the largest distributor of fresh produce in North Texas.
I've been there. I was really impressed to see how my wife and I went there to see it. It is really tremendous. It's a big place and lots of food and lots of items like you would think of you'd see in a supermarket.
Absolutely.
What hours can a person shop?
Now those vary. We try and be, as we try to say, client choice and be accessible to work with dignity of our folks. So there are some hours that it goes till 8 o'clock at night, but typically it's about 9 in the morning till about 7. But there are some extra hours to make sure that the working folks can get there.
Steve, how does someone qualify for CCA Health?
Well, they sit down and work with our social workers to be able to discuss their financial need. Many times we see that folks have experienced shortcoming in hours, or they've been laid off from work, or there's been a medical crisis in their life. And so when we identify what that need is, we want to make sure that we're that safety net to prevent people from falling into homelessness. And so we sit down and review their case, get to understand who they are and what's taking place in their life, and then to measure the amount of support that we can provide for them.
And for a lot more information, a person can access your website at www.ccahelps.org.
Yes.
Let me just, you also offer classes on training and life skills, such as job readiness skills, computer skills, and financial management. Can you tell us a little about that?
Absolutely. Our focus is not just to touch the lives of individuals, but to help transform lives through some of our practical steps. And I think one of it is life skill classes to transition people from instability to stability. So our life skills covers everything, and it's a progressive course going from English as a second language, ESL, to GED, to financial counseling, to resume writing, to interview techniques and computer skills, so that we're able to help people find employment and move them from unemployment to employment. In fact, in the last 3 months, we've been able to assist 26 people with permanent positions.
Wow, that's great, and that's a real important part of it, you know, to help people to develop the skills so they one day won't need to use CCA Help anymore. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we close the interview?
Well, just to say that you know, I'm very privileged to be a part of this great organization, and I think that as I've come on board in 45 years of service with CCA in the community, we have a great heritage. We have a bright future, and to be a part of the community, and to be in a part to serve people, and to help them through their life, walk with them.
Well, I want to thank you, Steve, for being here and for all you do for our community. Good luck in your new position.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you for watching.